TC Spiritual Shepherd. Welcome back to the Spiritual Shepherd YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about the most important of days. Now, this concept is really getting to the fact that the most important of days are the days that you do not want to do it. That you do not want to do it. And the most important of days is that you will be presented with multiple days throughout your week, multiple days throughout your month that you are not motivated, that you are not disciplined, that you are not wanting to, that you are not desiring to go to the gym, you're not desiring to save money, you're not desiring to invest in your business, you're not desiring to create a video, you're not desiring to eat a clean meal, you're not desiring to eat a whole food-based meal or to do your breath work or to do your meditation. You are not wanting to fast from certain things or fast at all. Sometimes you don't want to invest time in people. Sometimes you don't want to invest time in your business. Sometimes you don't want to journal. Sometimes you do not want to read. Okay, I can keep going and keep going and keep going. Sometimes you don't want to study. Okay, and now you can even take the reverse aspect. Sometimes you just want to listen to toxic music. Sometimes you just want to eat bad food. Sometimes you just want to do things that don't serve you, that sabotage you, that self-sabotage you. And first and foremost, we already know, okay? We already know that that doesn't lead you anywhere good, okay? We already know that that does not lead anywhere good. And as well as it sets you back from where you're already going. So recently, I know people in my life, they know, I feel like it's been 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Well, that's still 3 steps forward, okay? So it's very interesting when you start to see certain things, and that's been, I guess, the perpetuated cycle as of lately that I saw. Now, I truly think that me already being aware of this, I'm really been doubling down on staying consistent, staying disciplined. I know that I'm on the precipice of something extraordinarily great. I really, really am. The funny thing is that I know that there could be a potential saturation in the market. I just feel like it's very important to stay true to who you are. It's not about being like everybody else. It's not about speaking like everybody else or doing what everyone else does. And I know that that sounds cliche. I know that that sounds crazy, but there are certain non-negotiables in your life. There are certain non-negotiables that people have never come across in your life. Okay. So there are certain things that people do not know, that I do not know about you. Okay. That other people do not know about you. There are things that I know that other people do not know about me. Even if I can blatantly tell them about Darkroom, if they've never done a Darkroom, they still do not know that about me. And they still do not know that about themselves. And they do not know the actual aspect of it. They might be able to read science. They might be able to read a book. But now let's really get to one of the points, which is it's the movie Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting. It's the movie Good Will Hunting. And Matt Damon's in this. And just so you know, like, he was presented by one of the main characters, and he said, you know, like, are you going to be able to understand me because you read a book? Like, I know you might have read a book on this, or you might have read something about this, but have you ever done it? Have you ever experienced it? Have you ever gone through this? You know, everybody can tell me how bad being a drug addict was or how bad drugs are, but if they've never done it, they also don't see the darkness and the lightness that comes from it, that comes from seeing other people who are lost to it or lost in it or trying to escape out of it, like crabs in a bucket around them. You know, the funny thing is a lot of these people just need support from the people outside of them. I'm not saying that that's healthy or anything that you need support from people outside of you, but sometimes you have to see that, you know, there's levels to it. But ultimately, you know, he was also presented, hey, so you're an orphan, right? Like you've never met your dad, you never met your mom, you've never met your family, you don't know if you have brothers or sisters, you were born an orphan, you were born in the system, you've been going from foster care to foster care, you've been fighting, you've been doing all this type of stuff. And I resonate with him in this movie, by the way. Good Will Hunting, I resonate with this movie quite often as well. And I love the ending as well. But the first thing that he asks is, am I going to be able to know anything about your life because I read the book Oliver Twist? Am I going to know anything about who you are because I read Oliver Twist? No, absolutely not. You might get a concept. You might have a concept. You might be able to conceptualize or maybe have a certain perspective or maybe guesstimate it, but you have not experienced it. And so therefore, you know, everything that you have to think of or anything about an experiential, you know, perspective is void. It's absolutely void. And so this tells you a couple of things: to first experience the reality before you speak on the reality, as well as develop an experiential reality. It's good to experiment and it's good to experience. It's absolutely good to experiment and good to experience. If I were to not experiment with higher dosages, then I probably would not be at a no dosage right now, meaning I would not be sober. Okay. But there are people who generally they'll modernize and they'll moderate, they'll mediate a lot of their alcoholism and drug use and a lot of stuff like this, where, and I'm not talking down to anybody. I've been where you are. I've been absolutely where you are. And the whole thing is that you have that addictive mindset. I already know what your mindset would be if it were to be on positivity, if it were to be waking up, doing sauna, doing cold showers, doing, you know, the thing is that we are in that victim mindset, that woe is me mindset. A lot of times, like, oh, nobody trusts me, nobody loves me, nobody cares about me. You know, I'm the only one that gets it. Like, I don't know how many times I've said that in my own mind. And the funny thing is to some degree, that is also a lie. That is also a deception. That is also a deceptive perception, because that is also telling you that you're still not connected with people. You know, the thing is the main law, the main universal law is the law of one. The law of all, the law that one is connected to the all and the all is connected to the one. Everything is connected and interconnected to everything else, no matter how interconnected or unconnected it seems, okay? Now let's talk about this, that, you know, we're not going to be able to understand somebody who's never smoked. A smoker is not going to be able to talk to somebody who's a non-smoker about smoking, okay? Generally, they'll go to people who have smoked and then stop smoking. Does that make sense? Okay, so now let's actually talk about you know, an alcoholic is not going to go to somebody who's never drank alcohol in their lives. They're going to go to somebody who was an alcoholic and has stopped being an alcoholic, and then cultivate the same practices and experiences and the subconscious programming, the neurolinguistic programming, the NLP, the transformations. You know, these are the things that helped me out, you know, transform my life. Okay, all of this is interconnected with, you know, is interconnected with this type of stuff. It's really connected with NLP. It's connected with, you know, transformation of one's consciousness and one's belief system. A lot of us were brought into belief systems that don't serve us. And I truly believe, you know I have different belief systems than people, which is, I'm totally okay with that. In no way, but I also have to adhere to the fact that the people that I do agree with, they just generally don't live in this country. And so I've considered in my own right to leave this country or to go to a place where I resonate, you know, and then I have the fact, well, I won't be around all the people that I've ever known. I won't be around all the people that I've ever known. The people that I call family, the people I call family friends, the people I call friends, family, all this type of stuff. And so there's that aspect where I'm starting to feel a lot like David, if you guys know what I'm saying, like where, you know, sometimes you feel like you're run out of town, like you're run out of the city, like you're run out of your hometown per se, or that you're run out of, you know, where you're at. As well as too, a lot of times what you're doing is you're praying, you know, you're praying like, hey, I know that there's all these people who think against me, who would do the exact opposite, who would act the exact opposite, who would develop the exact opposite habits, and call them righteous. And I'm not saying that they're unrighteous or whatever. I'm not saying any of that. I think this is just me being transparent that, you know, the main thing is that you don't ever give up. Like, you're going to have so many times in your life where people are going to try to get you to give up, because that will bring you right down. Even if it's not down, even if it's even, it'll just bring you right to where, first of all, they want you for their purpose. I really do believe that a lot of us are in it for her own reward. A lot of friendships and family ships and we're in it for our own regards, we're our own reward. And I think that there are some who are far beyond it in certain families and some far beyond it in certain friendships, that no matter what, we're friends, no matter what, we're family, no matter what, And I also think too that it's very interesting that as soon as you stop doing things that benefit other people and they start to really benefit yourself, and I'm not talking about lowercase s self. If you guys need more context or content on that, just go and refer to the video with the King of the Philippines that I did. Okay, I did the video with the King of the Philippines, and we were talking about, like, there's a lowercase self and an uppercase self. And I've talked about this, I've riddled this all throughout before I even met him, but ultimately, like, we do understand the concept of the lowercase self as the ego, as the name, as the straw man, as the birth date, all this type of stuff, that you think of yourself as these types of ways of existing. Then there's the other aspect where you have to see that then there's the uppercase self, which is the true self, which is yourself, like your actual self, like who you actually are, the solar being inside, the light being inside, operating the machinery. And so to that context, you have, when we are brought into this world and we are programmed to believe a specific type of way, that we are believed to experience a certain type of way, that we're not taught I am energy, that we're not taught, that everything that follows I am and our words, or I in general, anything that follows the word I in general is how we create. And so it's important to have positive, etymology and word articulation, as well as, affirmations and suggestions of other people. And notice that the I, the you, the they, the we, the us, all of those connotations and pronouns, I guess you could say. See, don't look at the distractions of what I'm saying. I look at the actual facts of what I'm saying, is that all of those, there's an I in there somewhere. Whoever the I is, as confused or unconfused as they are, as perceptive or unperceptive as they are, as unperspective or perspective as they are, how they conceptualize or how they don't conceptualize is a certain thing. And you have to start to see the aspects that they're all interconnected. There's an I in the your. There's an I in the us. There's an I in the we. There might be two I's in the we, and that's why the Rastafarians say I and I. Okay, and so this is really, anything that follows I is giving power. And so when we're brought up in a specific type of programming, that we're meant to believe this way, that we're meant to act this way, that this is what gets things done. This is what gets things done in the physical realm. But a lot of the physical realm is ridding yourself of your emotions. So becoming a narcissist, becoming a sociopath or a psychopath, and that doesn't involve any, I'm just referring to the emotional aspect and the socio-emotional aspect of it. As well as the mindset aspect of it. Then there's even, mindset too, like, or lack thereof. So it's really all about me, which is still material. It's like all of that stuff is channeled into it. Okay. Then also we're taught, like, word connotations and word affirmations that don't serve who you are. We're taught to identify as our bodies, not the soul within our bodies that are operating the body. We're taught that we don't have a body, but that we are a body. That's a very big thing too, and that's on a multitude of levels that we must recognize, y'all. We must recognize that as we realize the mountain is us, the mountain is I. Okay, the Holy of Holies is right here. The temples, okay, you have to see the temple. The temple is you, okay. When you enter into the Most High Temple, this is the Ark of the Covenant, okay? Then the pineal gland, 11:11, right when I said that. And that is an absolute aspect of exactly what I'm saying, guys, is we have to realize that how we neuro mind, linguistic meaning speaking, and then programming meaning how we program ourselves with our words into our minds, how we program ourselves with words into our minds, okay? We are to bring light within our minds, not darkness within our minds. And that is a very important aspect. And that means that we ultimately are spiritual, we are the spiritual revolution. We are the spiritual revolution. We are that which we are longing for. We must be the change that we want to see in the world, which means that we change ourselves, because that's the only thing you can change. We can try to change somebody outside of us. I remember there was like 2 or 3 years where I wanted everybody to believe just like me. And and I'm totally okay with that. I'm totally okay with admitting that. But I think that was also because I was shedding some of those old aspects of me. And now I realize, everybody can believe whatever they want. I really don't mind whatever you believe. The thing is that you don't try to condemn the way that I believe just because I believe differently than you. And that's, and I can even see that, the spirituality and biblical, righteousness in that. I could see like that there's a cultivation of that is non-negotiable, that we are to believe in me, that believe in me. Okay. I am is Jehovah. I am is Yahweh. I am is Jah. I am is Jehovah. I am is Adonai. And you could see I am is the creator. And so you have to see what follows I am. How do you program around I am? And then also one way that we can heal, we might be good with I am affirmations, but we might not be good at you affirmations. I'm starting to realize this, or they affirmations and stuff like this, that I'm starting to realize that, I might have said some very mean things about people when I was growing up, or even recently, or whatever. And I hope that I could be forgiven that. I ask for forgiveness in that. I think too, a big thing is that there's the unconsciousness. There's the, I didn't know better, and now I do know better. And so therefore I'm going to start moving forward. I'm going to start being better. And that gets to the point where as I transform, you are great. You are spectacular. You are spectacular even if you say I am not spectacular, okay? And we could see the spells in that too. So, you are spectacular even if you say that I am not spectacular. So you must be spectacular in saying I'm unspectacular. So just start saying I am spectacular in being spectacular. You can start to really change the way that we word our stuff. So that's pretty much it, guys. Peace, much love, namaste. Talk to you guys soon. I'll see you guys in the next one.